You see, no one will know when that angel comes. No one. And when that angel comes, there is nothing left. All the things that we chased about won't matter one single bit. The fame, the moment of glory that you had, whatever it is, if you are pop idol of the year, whatever it is, if you are prime minister, that fame won't matter. The money, they lure you in Islam. It's such a beautiful religion that the method of burial is that all the clothes are taken off. There is no fancy suits, shirts, ties, cufflinks, nothing. We don't follow the ancient Egyptian model of putting the wealth in with the grave. Ours is a very simple religion. You die, all the clothes are removed, the body is washed, and then some pieces of plain cloth are put on you. Plain cloth. And you are lowered into the grave. Nothing goes with us, not the Rolex watches, not the gold rings that you had on their wedding day, or whatever it is, I don't know. Nothing goes with us, neither the deed of the house, nor the car, nothing. Just that body goes in. And the wealth gets passed on to the next generation, whatever. We came with nothing, we go with nothing. And all we have is this life. And that is why that question is such an important question. What is it that we should chase? And I don't know, it's Harry Potter fever, isn't it? And I read the books to my children, and I think there is an interesting take on it. Because the old magic, Dumbledore's magic, is the magic of love, of caring for people. Whereas the other magic is the magic of selfishness. What do we take with us? We take with us our deeds, our belief, our deeds, our thoughts, our intentions, and what we did in this life, how we cared with people, how we looked at people. That look, we know if people said, what is the softness of the soul? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he had the softest soul. What does that mean, softness of the soul? It's not something we can see the soul, you can dissect, you can do anything you want, you won't see a soul. A soul is something inside, but what does it mean, softness of the soul? It means looking at everything from a different lens. Looking at everything as the creation of Allah. Falling in love with every creation. Looking at something, feeling that this is nothing because it is just technology. But looking at somebody with the love. And if you want to look at how a mother looks at a newborn baby, that look is the look of love. That's the softness of the soul. Or how a man looks at his, I don't know, Nintendo Wii, or looks at his family, for example. That is a look of love. Can we pass through life looking at everything through that prism? You know, the beautiful hadith in our hadith books about our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and we'll be hearing more about that later on. How it's reported that it said any slave girl or servant girl could come and she'd grab him by the hand and take him wherever she wanted because she needed ask some questions, etc. Or a kid who would say, we used to play with the Prophet ﷺ and he would pat our heads and so on. Or the Sahaba who used to say, we used to say salam to him and he'd be the last one to take his hand away. This is the man who cried when he saw people injured, innocent children injured in battlefield. Doesn't matter whose children they were. This is the man who asked the Sahaba who upset the nest where the birds were. This is a man who the camel cried to. That softness, because his soul, he taught us how and what is important in life. And because of that uniqueness that he showed, 1400 years ago there was a blast, a powerful explosion, a blast of spirituality which, if you think about it, has gone for centuries and centuries. Its ripple effects are being seen now and will carry on until the Day of Judgment. Each one of the people, the companions who were around this beloved man, became an ummah by themselves. They were leaders. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, what was he? He was a stall holder, a merchant. Many merchants have passed away before him and after him. But this merchant is the one who we say, radiyallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him. This is the merchant who we make dua to, who we remember in our books, because he was more than a merchant. He knew what he was chasing. He was chasing his akhirah. And when his daughter Aisha radiallahu anha bought some brand new cloth, simple cloth, as kafan for him, as a shroud for him, he said, no, these old cloth, this is what I want to die in. That is for the living. This is the beauty of this man who was affected by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So just think through what it is that we are chasing. What it is, what legacy we want to leave behind ourselves. Because a day will come, like it has for Dale and for different people, a day will come when the angel will come for me and for you. And he will dig his hand into my body and take my soul out. And I will join the ranks of those souls in Barzakh, waiting for the day of judgment when I will be resurrected again. And if I think about that day, you ask yourself, I want to see my mother again. May God bless her. She was a powerful woman, had a powerful effect on me. I remember coming home shopping from the town center, carrying heavy bags from the supermarkets, walking all the way home, and my mother would have the receipt, and we'd tick off all the items and make sure they haven't overcharged us. And I remember once as we're doing it, we realized they'd undercharged us by 2p. So our mother said, now take this and go give it back. I said, Mom, it's 2p. She said, go give it back. I said, Mom, I'll donate it to charity. Next time I'm in town, I'll give it. She goes, no, if you die, it's on us. So go now and give it back. So I had to trudge all the way back to town for 2p that I had to give and explain to the Tesco's manager, here's 2p that you undercharged us with. I want to see my mother again on the Day of Judgment. I want to see my niece again. I want to see my grandparents. I want to hold hands with my little niece Zara, who passed away at the age of 5. I want to sit at the feet of Isa alayhi salam, Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, and ask him what it was like. I want to meet Yahya alayhi salam. I want to sit with Ayyub alayhi salam, who Allah gave all that leprosy and disease, and yet he still remained steadfast on the love of Allah. And I want to sit at the feet of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and take in all the gems. You know, there's an advert some time ago, wasn't there? Who would you like a one-to-one with? Well, we know the answer. If we could, and we can, if we strive, and Allah blesses us by His grace, that we live a life which is good and honorable, that maybe, just maybe, He will allow us to be in this company, in this fantastic company, to stroll in the gardens with these people, to live among them and talk to them. May Allah grant us all the ability to chase what is right. The month of Ramadan is approaching. Monday, inshallah, most likely will be the first fast. The Prophet ﷺ gave a very good example. He said there are many people who will fast and gain nothing except hunger and thirst, because they're not chasing the right thing. Because all they're doing is going without food and drink. And the purpose of Ramadan, the purpose of fasting, is to make our focus, take away all distractions from our life and focus on what is important. So may Allah give us the tawfiq to look at ourselves. Ramadan, the month of reflection. And you'll hear lots of things about Ramadan in this event. So please, let's take heed on that. Let's sit down quietly, go through what are our weaknesses. What is my distraction? What distracts me away from that? What takes me away from having a one-to-one with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or sitting with our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, Fatima radiallahu anha? What takes us away from that direction? And what can we do as we sit down, make a list of your weaknesses and say, okay, this is what I'm going to try and tackle over this blessed month. Because at the end of the day, I want to chase my soul, I want to do it right, and I want to be with them on the Day of Judgment. May Allah give us that strength, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.